Just be still and notice the space between the sounds and the words, and all the space that is forever omnipresent. The space is everywhere and nowhere, because the space is God. Keep your focus on the space, and that will put you in the blessing. You are seeking the kingdom and His righteousness, and all these desires of your heart will come onto you as you honor God in the space. Your ego and your five senses want you to be so busy that you're always going here and there and everywhere, but never in the present, in the space. The space itself is the presence of God. Be still and know that I am God. The five senses become terrified of the space. It's almost as if you are afraid for your own life, because there are two. Life itself exists in the space, and that which is not life is where the fear originates and arises from. The five sense material mind. Every report of fear, doubt, and uncertainty of the capacity for the space to provide for you arises from the five senses. You see this world in front of you. It looks real. It feels real. When you eat, it tastes real. And when you breathe, it smells real. But that which is temporal is never the real. And we know that all material life returns to dust. And that which is immaterial, immortal, eternal, omnipresent, your breath and the space, God is the breath and the space, and that which never dies, never ages, never changes. If the scenery of your life changes as you move from one space to another, then the scenery is that which is not real. And as you move from one space to another, you may feel many things. You may hear all sorts of chatter, music, noise, chaos. And yet that which never changes is the only thing that is real. And as you row your boat gently down the stream of consciousness, because we know life is but a dream, it says, merrily, 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 merrily. Be in the presence where the joy becomes your reward for stepping into the present. Your breath and the space are God's presence. Everything else comes and goes, withers and decays, and returns to dust. And the scripture commands that we seek ye first the kingdom and its righteousness, and all these things will be brought unto you. When you are in the space, all of these things are reported to you from your five senses, and yet they are not real. Your five senses are the only fearful part of you, and yet outside of God's omnipresence, there was no space left over for anything other than itself. God is all in all, in spirit, never in material. Only the eternal is the true, and whatever is not eternal is not. It is fiction. It roots itself in time. Time is always outside of the present. And anything that is outside of omnipresence is not. So to chase after that which is not is to labor in vain. But to be wholeheartedly present to the present, focused on the space, the breath, the mind becomes still and quiet. And all we have to do is drop our intention. And like a drop in a calm pool of water, the ripples will carry out. And as the tide goes out, the tide comes back in. And as we remain still in the presence of God, we are able to drop that intention into the still waters of the quiet mind. And as sure as the sun comes up, the ripple will carry out with the current, and it will return as the ebbs and flows, always, eternally. Repeat throughout all of existence. So the first step is to correct your focus, because the only reason people fail is broken focus. When you are focused on the hustle and bustle of life, that is a compulsion from your five senses that is rooted in fear. When you are afraid and chasing after the things of this world, you lose sight of the source of the blessing. And the only thing hard work ever begets is more hard work. So instead, relax and learn how to allow. Honoring God is the surest path to receiving favor. And 1 ounce of favor can do more for you in a moment than all of that laboring in vain can do in a lifetime. So while that part of you that fearfully chases after the things which are temporal, believing that putting forth more effort will produce anything other than cause and effect, more effort to have to produce again and again and again. All you have to do is return like the prodigal son to the present through the breath and the space, because correcting your focus is the most important activity you can ever do. And when you are in that still space, become grateful, appreciative, and love any desire that is on your heart, as if you already are one with it. Just love it as if it already belongs to you, and you are lovingly appreciative and grateful because it belongs to you now. And send love to that desire, and send some more love to it, and just really send some more love to it. And now just let it go. Drop it in the still space of your mind, and let the ripple of consciousness take care of all the details as you remain present to the present in the space with God, the source of all good. And tell the lying and deceitful five senses that the only fear that ever existed was never created, because omnipresence knows nothing of it. Omnipresence never created it, and therefore you never have to fear it again.